Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic weekend. Tonight I'm going to be doing a movie review. This is a low-budget American independent drama released in 2005, directed by Matt Farnsworth, and this movie is called Iowa. And the story to Iowa is as follows. The story of two young Americans who decide to go into the batch business, cooking their own methamphetamine, only to watch it burn a searing hole in their lives. Following the suspicious death of his father, Esper and his lover Donna have been made recent beneficiaries to a large sum of insurance money. In a bid to escape their small town existence, they plunge into the world of crystal meth, soon becoming addicts. But a dirty local parole officer, Larry, in cahoots with Esper's mother, Effie, wants the money for himself. After conspiring to murder Esper's father, they now must get rid of Esper, who finally snaps out of his drug-fueled delusion and decides he is not going down without a fight. So it's set in Iowa and it centers around the main character of Esper. Now, Esper's father has recently passed away under very suspicious circumstances, and Esper has been made the sole beneficiary of his insurance money. Now, Esper has a very troubled life. He's got the love of his life named Donna, and he dreams about leaving this low-income neighborhood that he's living in and starting a better and brighter future for him and his loved one. But in order to do that, he's waiting on the insurance money. Now, it's been told that if tests come through that suggest that Esper's father was high when he died, he's not going to see a cent of this money. So Esper has his doubts about the cleanliness of his father before he died, so he decides to make money his own way, and that's going through crystal meth. He ends up producing it, making it in his own laboratory, but then he starts to get hooked on it. Him and his girlfriend and his friends get hooked on it, and it begins to form a big hole in their lives. So then, on top of that, Esper's mother, Effie, she is a drug addict as well, and she is in love with Esper's parole officer. Now, Esper has been done for possession of drugs, and his parole officer, Larry, is a psychopath. Now, Larry is in love with Esper's mother, and they come up with a plan to get rid of Esper in order to collect the insurance money. So it's a very barbaric, cruel plan that they have, but no one can be trusted in this movie, and how it unfolds from there, I'm going to leave it up to you to find out for yourself. Now, my thoughts on this movie. A very hard-hitting topic, and a lot of films have done this, and unfortunately for this film, a lot of films do it much better. Now, my biggest problem with it, it is a low-budget film, and I actually thought that the acting, while in some regards it was mediocre, overall, for a low-budget film, I actually thought the acting was decent, but it's not the acting that's the problem. It's the script, and it's the lack of patience shown by Matt Farnsworth, the director. Now, I know that might seem harsh, but I'm always very honest in my reviews. I just felt that he bit off more than he can chew, and he didn't take attention to details very well. Now, films like Requiem for a Dream, which I'm thinking that this film was trying to be, where that succeeded so much is that it portrayed very real characters, and you could really sympathize for their plight in that, drugs do destroy lives. And this film really wanted to go down that path, the dirtiness of drugs, and it actually reminded me of a few Larry Clark films, the sheer dirtiness in the atmosphere and the cinematography. I felt that Matt Farnsworth wanted to make that kind of atmosphere and environment, but he fails to do so in, the lack of patience in the script, no character development, all of them were cardboard cutouts, so I really couldn't care, who survived and who didn't. In some regards they were overacted, so in the end I just didn't care what happened to these characters, and therefore it lost all the impact that the director was trying to make. It seemed like he wanted to get it over and done with quickly. He wanted to show the message that drugs are bad, which we already know, but it doesn't prove anything different in this sort of subgenre. The soundtrack was off. It was, very, very poor. I thought it was too constant, and it just came across as a student film, a low-quality sort of music video. Just way too much music and soundtrack, and I just feel that can kill a moment. Sometimes it's better off just having silence, and that in itself can be more, emotional than a soundtrack. It kind of feels like a soundtrack is there to dictate when you should be feeling this certain emotion, whereas it's not leaving it up to the viewer, and in that regard it's not respecting the viewer. So I don't know if that was a deliberate ploy, but it really does, it comes across as amateurish, and I really was disappointed with this one. Now, there were a few shocking scenes, but a few shocking scenes do not make a film, so it really, really fails to hit the mark. I felt that the ending it's been done a lot of times. I thought it was a little bit predictable, but in the end, this wanted to be a lot more than it was. It was a big disappointment. I thought if it was just a little bit longer and the character development was done a little bit better, and the life of the selling of the drugs seemed very skimmed. A lot of it was just skimmed over the surface. It didn't delve into the real problem of drugs, and therefore, it just came across as a very forgettable film. So I'm only going to give this one 1.5 out of 5. It's a very harsh mark, but in the end, I was left a little bit frustrated by this because it had the ability to be, a good little film, but in the end, I just thought that it was a little bit amateurish. The editing needed a lot of work, and I just feel that I hope that the director can go on to bigger and better things from here. So definitely not a film I'm recommending. It was a disappointment, so I'm not going to say go out there and see this one. If you want to see a hard-hitting drug film, watch Requiem for a Dream, because I feel that that does it much, much better than this one. So that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Bye.